Hola, Poke Dudes of Summer. Welcome back to the Dex, where we cover trivia and strategy for a different Pokemon each week. I'm Coca-Kel.
And I'm Freediver Alex. This is summertime the best. Hanging out at the beach, catching some waves, building sandcastles.
Hold on, Alex. I've known you for a lot of years, and I don't think I've ever seen you catching waves.
Psh, yes, you have. Of course you have.
And have you ever built an actual sandcastle in your life?
I helped with one.
You did not help with that when you made it obscene.
It was hilarious. And anyway, I was just trying to find a nice little way of segueing into this week's Pokemon, but somebody had to be a little Miss Fact Checker on me.
You know what? I love facts.
And I love fun. Together, we've got fun facts about Palossand.
Ah, nice one. Let's do it.
Handled it. Segway boys.
Palossand is not a nice sandcastle, guys. It all started with a grudge born from the regrets of someone or something that died on the sand. And then it sank and seeped into the sand, which created a monster thirsty for power and life force.
Yeah, and what's even creepier is that Palossand mind controls humans to force them into building a castle around it for camouflage and protection. So that means that Palossand's true form is actually some unknown horror hiding inside a castle. Sounds like final boss material.
Right, and what's worse is that it uses the shovel on its head as a radar while on the beach, essentially hunting for Pokemon that it can suck into its body and slowly drain the life from. As it waits for death, the Pokemon thinks of its regrets, which sink into the sand and create another Sandygast, and the cycle of horror continues.
Eesh. If you're thinking that Palossand just kind of sounds like a lazy dude saying pile of sand, that's actually intentional. Most of its name localizations are something like this too. Shiro Dasuna, its Japanese name, can literally be translated as, it's a sandcastle, huh? And in French, it's trépassable, a pun on death sand and good enough. Oh damn, we self-critiquing now, haters! Real talk though, how can people insult you for being a pile of sand when that's your name already? And the fact that Game Freak's just like, whatever, you're gonna make fun of it anyway, that's baller. Got him.
But just because Palossand's a pile of sand doesn't mean there's nothing left to say about it.
Nah, like, what is sand anyway?
You don't know what sand is?
What's a beach?
Okay.
Life's a beach. Life is like sand in the hourglass on the beach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's time for Pokemon Rocks.
Nice.
Okay, but what is sand, for real? I mean, like, this is the science kid in me talking, but actually sand is pretty cool. It's like proof positive of time's destruction of all things. But to be less cryptic, sand is essentially very, 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 very tiny rocks, specifically bits of silicon dioxide in the form of quartz, though a bunch of other things also make up sand.
Through erosion or rough waves or human construction, larger rocks are ground down into tiny bits. It's just the sand-making process. Other contributing components are shells, glass, and semi-precious gems too small to matter, and especially relevant to us, bones. Maybe Palossand's nefarious nature comes from sand having a ton of ground up bones in it. That's pretty gross to think about.
The reason we bring this up is because the composition of sand determines what color it ends up being. Most of the time, a sand with a pretty good variety of rocks in it is a golden brown, but every once in a while you'll get environments that produce sands of specific colors. White sand beaches are made primarily of bones and shells and coral skeletons, aka built on the bones of millions of departed sea critters. That kind of environment produces a sand color like Sandygast.
Palossand's peachy color is what is called pink sand, which is made of dead coral and small marine creatures called foraminifera, whose shells are pink and red and give the beach a beautiful hue if you can get past the fact that it's all ground up sea critters. Is that what's happening when Palossand sucks Pokemon into its body? Does he grind their bones to make his house? What the fuck?
I'm not gonna stick my hand in one to find out, but just relax for a second, there's one more cool bit. Palossand's shiny form is black, which is totally not accidental. One of the most famous black sand beaches in the world is Punalu'u Beach in Hawaii.
Very rare black sand beaches occur when lava enters the water, which cools it down instantly and shatters it. It washes ashore as black sand, and while very striking, it can be very hot to walk on. Sea turtles love it though, and like to come ashore on black sand beaches to soak up some heat. Like a little warm turtle vacation on land.
Punalu'u Beach makes a cameo appearance in Alola as well. Route 14 on the southern tip of Ula Island is a black sand beach, and if you lay a map of Hawaii's big island on top of a map of Ula, Punalu'u is right in the same spot. And even though no bones are used in the making of a black sand beach, Alola rightly took the hint and made that the creepy pathway to the thrifty Megamart, Alola's most haunted locale. Who knew sand could be so sinister? Pokemon rocks.
Very tight stuff, Palossand. All in all, pretty cool addition to the Alola region Dex, right?
Agreed, but how does he stack up to the competition?
Are you asking for some Palossand VGC 2017 battle strategies, or are you just making a sandcastle pun?
Yeah.
All right, nerd, buckle up, because Palossand's a pretty wicked boy. Battle strats start right now.
Pokemon.
So look, Palossand was not the first ghost ground type we got that didn't seem like it had many prospects. That honor goes to Golurk. But Palossand's fate was pretty much sealed before the game even came out. Until 2016 World Championship third place finisher and 2017 DreamHack Regional Champion Marcus Statter ran into a crazy strategy on stream that he eventually took on to win a mid-season showdown with a little while later. To try this out, start with a quiet Palossand and EV train it in HP and special defense.
To start, you're gonna wanna have a Smeargle as your partner, and on your first turn out, have Smeargle use Fake Out to flinch your opponent and shield your Palossand from any major attacks while it takes a turn to get off an Amnesia, which doubles the special defense.
Now here's where it gets crazy. Next, have your Smeargle attack Palossand with Water Shuriken, which hits between 2 and 5 times. Smeargle's weak, so it'll do barely any damage, but each hit will activate Palossand's ability Water Compaction, which boosts its defenses 2 stages each time it hits. And that's not even all, because this Palossand will also be holding a weakness policy, which will also activate and boost Palossand's attack and special attack 2 stages as well.
So yeah, by the time it's your turn again, you'll be boosted beyond belief, and it's time to hit your opponent with either a Stab Shadow Ball or a Stab Earth Power, while Smeargle uses Follow Me every turn until he faints to protect you from any hits that might be coming your way.
And that's not even it. Switch in a Gigalith with Sandstream after Smeargle goes down, and now that there's a Sandstorm, the last move in your set, Shore Up, heals Palossand for 2/3 of its max health, and basically, you just live forever and knock out your opponent's team with ease.
Now, we know this seems like an insane, crazy strategy, and it totally is, but just to prove that we're legit, here's our credentials.
My name is Marcus Statter, and I approve of this insane, crazy strategy.
Bam.
And you can try Psychic if you want instead, or Energy Ball if you're looking for different types of coverage, and I guess strategically running Protect probably wouldn't hurt either, but other than that, I think we're done here. Thanks, Marcus!
Don't do drugs, kids.
Okay, yep, sure.
But yeah, that's it for this week. Sand is just bones a lot of the time. That's the main takeaway here, right?
Sure. If you have some info of your own you want to share, or you want to contribute to further research to appear on later episodes, follow the link in the description to our official Dex Discord. And while you're down there, why not be the coolest kid at your Pokemon Go Beach meetup and pick up one of our sick new shirts from theyeti.com/thedex? Like, are you kidding me with this pink tie-dye?
Thanks again for watching, and thanks also to our Patreon supporters, because without them, all we'd have to come home to each night is a beanbag, a dog, and a bag of rice. And we would be squatters. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm PokeKels.
And I'm Freediver Alex. Tune in next week for another brutal episode of The Dex.